Okay, everybody, here we are, 6 o'clock, a little bit after 6:02, 6:03, depending upon where you are. So, like the last two videos that I did, I was featuring some of the Black-owned businesses that I patronize and that I wanted to bring onto my platform to introduce you to so that you could patronize them. And I believe the last one that I brought you was Annie, who was, one of those callers. We went through that. The one before that was Penny. And then I'm thinking the next one I want to do is a black male who I know. He runs a Subway franchise where they make sandwiches. So basically, this right here, I'm introducing you to a longtime friend. I went to fourth grade and I think fifth grade with her back in the days when they used to beat us in school. Like the teachers used to whip our ass. Like the teachers could do it, and then after the teachers beat us, the parents did too. Our parents beat us. So we grew up very well. We have a decent respect of authority. And on top of that, we're pretty successful, and we're doing pretty well because we do what we need to do. Because back then we actually learned a lot of stuff, unlike now. So the schools have changed a bit. In fact, I'm going to introduce her. So as you can see, her name's Essence, and she's going to walk us through. She's going to introduce us to her business location. She's going to introduce us to her website. And if you're interested in patronizing her, we're going to leave enough information so that if you're interested in buying anything, that you'll be able to easily get on her site and you'll be able to buy something. So, hi, Essence. How are you?
Hi, I'm well. Thank you so much again for having me. I'm excited to be here with you and your audience today. But I'm doing good. It is. I'm in Atlanta, so it is a rainy afternoon, but besides that, I'm good.
Okay, so you're in Atlanta. Now, here's a question. We see the shirt. It says you're from Brooklyn. What caused
Yes,
you to move to Atlanta?
respectfully, remember that. Always from Brooklyn.
Respectfully from Brooklyn. What
So,
caused you?
so
Go
I
ahead.
came to Atlanta for college. Actually, I wanted to go to an HBCU. That was always the goal for me. I'm very intentional about that. And I actually went to Clark Atlanta University. And so that's what brought me here initially. Like it was, I don't know, maybe like 8 or 9 of us who all came from like high school together down here from like different schools, but we knew each other in the city. And so we went to Clark, some went to Morehouse, some went to Spelman, which if you know anything about Atlanta and like the Atlanta University Center, they're all literally like right across the street from each other. So it's like a little compound. So, that was my crew coming here. And I stayed, which is a story that I like to share the most because some people left and went home, of course. But for me, I actually started to, I think, understand like at an earlier age, like how far money can go in different places. And I always had goals of doing bigger things, before I was my age now. And so I stayed because I realized that. And I'm still here because I bought a house when I was like 30, which I could not do, probably not even now, in New York. So
Have you seen? Now, here's a question for you because I got some people who I've made a lot of videos about talking about the value of buying a house in order to gain equity rather than renting. When you
yes.
bought your house, obviously it was years ago. Have you seen reasonable appreciation in your property and whatnot in equity?
Absolutely. Like, so I like to tell this story too, because I always like to be helpful to people
Okay.
and take their advice or don't take it. I am very strategic and I was very strategic as to when I bought my house too. So that's another key. I bought my house in 2012. So the market then had completely busted and it was a total buyer's market. And for me, in the area that I live in is quite popular. It's a family neighborhood, but I was single. I did not have kids then either. And it was just me. So people were like, are you crazy? Like, why don't you just get like a cute little condo? Why don't you get like a little, townhouse or something? But I'm like, no, people in family neighborhoods want to imagine themselves in a home for their families. So I bought a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom house, and I bought it for $150,000.
Wow.
Well, that was all I wanted to spend. And that's exactly what I spent. So to answer the second part of your question, my area cannot keep a house on the market. Like contracts are like 2 weeks and they're gone. This neighborhood is super popular. There's trails. My county I live in is called Cobb County. So it's it has the second best school system in the metropolitan area, which was also a factor of me buying in this neighborhood too, because obviously that's important to people who got kids. They want to make sure that they go to good schools and not have to move for every, how do you say, I don't even know because I don't have kids, but they don't have to move for every milestone. So you don't have to move when they're going from elementary to junior high or from junior high to high school. Like all of the schools are good. So for me, I've seen my house appreciate a great deal in 9 years.
So the average house about the size of yours, what you have, how much is those houses going for now?
So in this neighborhood specifically, I can speak to because two of my neighbors actually sold their homes. One, I want to say she spent $160,000 on hers, and I believe that they sold it for like maybe $75,000 or $85,000 more than that.
Okay.
And so did another neighbor who lived in like the cul-de-sac in here. So this area is quite popular, and I am not doing anything with this house, meaning selling it until like I am absolutely ready. I have a strategy for that too, to transition out of the house, because it has been 9 years. I said I would stay for 10. I will stay a little bit longer because it's not ready yet. But yeah, that's the way that I think about investment, especially when purchasing a home. It's not about it being cute. It's about it being a good idea overall.
Okay, that sounds good. So here's a question. What has or how has COVID affected your business? What was it like prior to coronavirus, and what is it like now?
That's a good question. So before Sensual, I actually was operating in the Essence of You, was my other business for interior design. And needless to say, COVID has thrown a wrench in everything. And I really wasn't working on a ton of design projects. And I really wasn't into it either. Like I wasn't cool with going to a lot of people's homes. I didn't know how the industry was going to work with contractors and, who was going to be being safe and who wasn't. And so it was just a lot of confusion for me. And I didn't want to pause in my passion, but at the same time, I also had been thinking for a couple of years about expounding upon the interior design idea and doing a home decor line, because for me, I love small boutique type of home decor. I like different pieces. And I would always try to find that for my clients who I was designing rooms for or homes for. And I thought, well, since I love it so much and I'm passionate about it, why don't I just create my own? And so the Sensual business is a pivot actually from the interior design during COVID. I hope that makes sense.
Okay. So how have your sales been lately? Are they going back up generally, or?
I've been really fortunate that since I launched, I've been popping. So I haven't really had that problem. I think for entrepreneurs, and I used to work in a startup space also and helping founders build their businesses. And so I became really familiar with being able to shift quickly and pivot and not really have a lot of emotion behind it. And I think because I was able to figure that out for myself, it really didn't impact me negatively. It's only benefited me.
That's good. Yeah. Well, some businesses were very fortunate during COVID, especially the online businesses, because obviously people couldn't get around to a store. Stores were closed down. Malls were closed down. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. You want to share your website screen with us?
Sure. Yeah. Let me get a little closer.
And you can walk us through it, talk about your products.
Okay.
We'll be dropping your links later, your links and URLs.
All right. My entire screen here. Okay. So hopefully this all works well. Okay. That's just a pop-up that I have there. So So this is sensual. So the reason that I chose, or I designed the website also. Eventually I'm gonna add some different things to it as I introduce more products. So I probably won't design the rest of it because this was enough for me. I am not a techie. I will not admit to being so. So it took me a while. But the reason that I designed it in this way, and I like to focus on this first page, is because this is different. You don't often see sites that use like a lot of color, a lot of pattern. A lot of them keep it pretty simple. And it looks, kind of ordinary, but I wanted to showcase like a bit of my personality, which is colorful, which is bright, which is busy. And I wanted it to be what sensual stands for to me, which means every room in your home is a vibe. So it doesn't matter what your vibe is, but every room should make you feel like a certain kind of way. And when I saw this made me feel like, yes, like this is it. So this is the home page for Sensual Home Decor. Everything so far that I have decided to create for this line is handcrafted by me. So like literally like everything, the candles, I'm introducing some more home decor pieces this month. So they all will be made by me, and I'll, talk more about that. But as we just kind of into the site a bit, you get to see a little bit of what, I have going on. So, for example, Cactus Bomb is my spring scent. So I literally just released that this weekend. That just passed. So I don't have stats on sales yet, but I have orders for those already. And then I kind of just go through the site and go through the different types of collections that I offer. So there are 4. There is the, click on it so that you can see a bit of it. But I have the Fruity collection. I have the Zen collection. I have the Fresh collection. And I also have the Floral collection. So as I click on each one, this one that you're looking at right now is the Fruity collection. This is Zen, Floral, and Fresh. And I think they're pretty self-explanatory, but depending upon what your candle personality is, what I like to call it, I feel like I have something for each person. So if you are a fan of very strong fruity scents, then Fruity's for you. If you are not into a lot of fragrance, but more into more spa, relaxing, kind of help you think and relax type of scents, Zen is for you. If you like a little bit of fragrance mixed with some florals for you. And then the Fresh collection is mostly for people who just like a hint. It's like a little taste of fragrance.
Let me ask you a question. Where is this stuff made?
Where is it made? What do you mean?
Like who manufactures it?
Who manufactures what though?
Any of it.
Themselves? Well, so maybe it'd be helpful if I explain like the process. So in order to answer the question, like I make the candles myself.
So you make the candles. Now, what is that? How does that work? Like you have wax and stuff?
I do. Yes. So I have suppliers for the vessels. We call these things that they're in vessels. They're container jars. So I have a supplier that I get those from. So those are bought. There's nothing inside of them.
Is that American or a foreign?
They're foreign.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to find a connection that can accommodate frequently that is not international. But when it comes to the process of making the candles, I have like blocks of wax. I have, fragrance oils that I use. I have wicks that I have to source and utilize. I use coconut wax because I want it to be eco-friendly. I also use, and this might not make sense to you at all, but I use eco-friendly black braided cotton self-trimming wicks. And why that's important is because it helps the candle experience go well. So I don't know if you're a candle burner, but if you burn candles and you see like a poof of smoke or something like come out of them, that probably is not the best wick. So I think about the experience overall. I test and test and test before I sell or when I'm changing something. So I used to use paraffin wax before I used coconut. So before I made that transition to make my business eco-friendly, I had to test the different types of coconut waxes, different types of wicks. There's different sizes of wicks. Depending upon how much fragrance oil you use, everything can burn differently. So it legitimately, I feel like a scientist up in here sometimes, because I have to experiment until I'm happy with the experience that I'm having in order to be able to sell to customers. So that's why I kind of paused when you said manufacturer, because there's no manufacturer besides who I'm getting the vessels from, and I guess technically who I'm getting the wax and oils from. But they're actually domestic, but with the wax and the oils, but everything is made by me here.
Well, that's amazing, because see, I always assume that the majority of these things, I always assumed that they just came imported and that they were already pre-made, and that you were just selling them. I didn't even know.
No. And I mean, I'm not knocking anybody who does that, because, it is a process. And like I said, creating a formula, having to take the time to literally waste product sometimes. So you're wasting money in the beginning because you're trying to figure out all of your formulas, how much wax to use versus fragrance oils, and is it strong enough, can I add more? So it literally is a science experiment in here. So people do what's called white labeling, which is where they will buy wholesale someone else's candles, or sometimes there are people like me who make them, who they'll white label, or most times it'll be from somewhere foreign, and they will put their own label on them. But I do not do that. Everything is handmade by me.
Okay, so this is the candle section. So what other major products, what are your other major sellers besides the candles?
So right now, all I have that's on my site is the candles, because the candles are my big deal. And I also have some car fragrances as well. But that's it for now that's on the site. But I'll tell you what I have coming up, and I'll just scroll down a little bit more so that you can see.
Okay.
I have limited edition pieces. I have bestsellers that are labeled here. And it's all updated with, pricing, and I do custom orders as well for various things. I just did a custom order for some bridal shower gifts, and also for weddings and different things like that. But what's coming next is the smaller boutique items that I was telling you about that I really like. I'm introducing serving trays. I'm introducing coasters in cement, and also like a resin type of material. And I'm also introducing some of the chopping boards with different designs on them. So I'm slowly introducing different products into the line. I never really wanted to do anything fast. I believe in business sometimes when you get good at something, it's always a natural reaction to hurry up and come out with the next thing. I like for all of my products to be tested, tried and true, before I move on to the next thing. So now that I have the candles in a great place where I have all of my formulas down, I know what my costs are, I have everything lined up the way that I feel the most comfortable. Now I'm ready to take that leap and move forward into the next phase of the business.
And you're certain that the next phase is your next phase is what again?
They're going to be the smaller home decor items. So
smaller home decor, and that's what I want. I'm sorry, that's what I wanted to specifically ask you about. Mm-hmm. The other thing, to me, the other thing that goes with the candles and the scents is lighting. Mm-hmm. And I was going to ask you, did you ever consider, I don't know, maybe customized lighting of any type? For instance, some people have desk setups where they have candles burning, or they have mood lighting.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if you ever considered that.
I haven't, and that's really interesting to think about, because I'm a sunshine light kind of person. But I think that I also wanted to, initially for myself anyway, right now, is keep it simple. For a couple of reasons. One, for myself, because I'm the only creator. I don't have a team yet. expanding on, hiring like people for certain things. But this is my baby, so I want to make sure that it still stays the same quality. So I still have my hands in the pot everywhere. But anyway, I hadn't thought about that. When I sat down at the end of last year and started to plan out each quarter of this year of my goals for Sensual, lighting never came up. I think because one, it would probably take me a while to ideate what I actually would want something like that to look like. And then there's a lot that goes into, creating it and launching it and, just all of that. So I felt most comfortable with things that I like to see, which is, decorations for your table. I don't know, like if you're into this, some of your audience is into it, but having small home decor items just changes a space. It changes a table. It changes a chair. It changes a room. I like to entertain. So hopefully that'll come back around. But I started thinking about things like that, like, oh, okay, well, what are the things that my guests like to see, or what are the things that would make me have a better party? A lot of times for me, when I have people over, everyone is having a cocktail or something, and they always misplace which cup is theirs. And I was like, what if there was a way that I can solve that? So what if I created custom coasters that, each person can have an assigned one, whether it be like I won't get into all of that, but, they can have a different assigned coaster that would, create a different type of entertainment feel and experience. What if I could also do that with cooking, with silverware, with cutting boards, with plates, with bowls? And so that was my thought process and the next phase of the business. So beginning with the coasters and the serving trays is going to introduce the kitchen portion of the home decor items that I have. So I feel like that was like a natural kind of transition for me.
Yeah, I in a little while I'm gonna probably bring her in, but I have a friend. She was on one of the spotlights I did before, and she was interested in finding out, do you wholesale and something else? She said, I'm going to let you talk to her in a little while.
Okay.
But she has a store, but she's up in Michigan. You're in Atlanta. But it's all really, really interesting. And now, how much did it take you to get started in your business?
Right. With the candles?
Either one.
Monetarily?
Home decor.
Can I stop sharing now, or do you want me to keep this up?
Well, if you have anything else on your site you want to show us.
Actually, no. I mean, this is pretty much it for now. So know that more is coming this month. I am actually in a process of testing right now.
and I think this is a question that a lot of the audience would like to ask. You're basically showing that you are able to afford a home and living by a candle business and home decor. Basically, what percentage of your monthly income comes from your candle making versus what percentage of your income comes from your home decoration? Because I'll tell you this, I got two houses. The one that I'm in, I have no decorations whatsoever because I always like keeping things very plain and simple. But women typically, they're the ones who add everything when they move in, and they start adding all types of decorations and stuff. Like I have my mom, I built her a television stand for big screen television, right? And she keeps putting stuff on it that I absolutely don't want her putting on it because I'm like, yo, listen, that's a glass table. Why are you putting this stuff on it? And she's putting plants and flowers and stuff on it. And yeah, it looks pretty and everything, but I don't consider it practical. So I have no decoration bone whatsoever. So my thing is, you're basically showing us that, okay, so you started a business, you did home decoration, and now you're doing candles and you're making them yourself. And you are able to finance yourself through this.
So I'm 100% honest with my entrepreneurial journey. And I think that it's important for people to understand the good, the bad, and the ugly part of it, because I think it is all of that when you are pursuing a passion. So I still work. I work full time as well, and I do this full time as well. So what that means for me is I hardly sleep.
May I ask what you do for work?
Yeah, sure. I'm at State Farm. I do something. This is another part of me being strategic. So just small background about me. Like, I have always been in super demanding leadership positions where I've had to travel all the time, domestically, internationally, for clients, just always wanting to be a super overachiever because, go to college, you get a degree, just like, okay, like I want to, be this person. And I had to take a step back and say, if my passion means more to me than somebody else's business, which it does, then how am I going to still do all of these things? Like, how can I be traveling every month for someone else, working till the midnight hour with somebody else's laptop? And I'm never going to be able to pursue what I really want to do. So what happened was my last job, I used to work in a nonprofit tech space, startup space here in Atlanta, which is pretty dope. Very motivational. You get to see like a lot of, Black folks doing their thing, a lot of founders who have been successful. Some have failures, but you still learn from it. It is very, 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 very attractive and motivating to be a part of. But what happens in the nonprofit space and the tech space a lot of times is that you lose funding. And when you lose funding, you lose your job. So when it happened to me, I told myself, this is it. Like, this is the opportunity for me to really try to pursue this full time. But to be honest with you, my bills are big. Like not big in the sense that, they're unaffordable, but, you can't make $10 an hour, for it in order to be successful. So what I did is I said, maybe I'll just do something basic. What I struggle with is basic kind of like beneath me. If I'm used to, making this amount of money and now I'm making this amount of money, but I have more time. So it was like an internal type of struggle that I was dealing with. So I said, what would be smart is if I could get into a larger corporation, because I'm used to working for big corporations. I know how they move. I know the lingo. I know the game. So if I can get into a corporation, but not in a management or leadership position, just be like a regular employee, which I never am. Be one of those, then I'd have the time. And that's what I did. So I'm at State Farm. I dislike it. But
you're selling house insurance or car insurance?
Cars. It's not insurance. Well, it's insurance for the State Farm, but it's more accident disaster related. What I do. So I'm not like selling insurance.
You're an adjuster.
No, it's more claims-ish. But
here's a question: how many people getting in car accidents come to you with Dodge Mopar products, like Dodge, Fiat, Chrysler, Jeep products?
I actually don't get too many of those.
So there's not too many Dodge Chargers getting wrecked or stolen down there?
Rarely see it. Rarely.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
It's not even here. I'm all over the country. So I'm licensed for, almost every state that requires a license, but I do every state. So I don't see much about Chargers at all, to be honest with you, or Dodgers. I can't even think of one that I've had lately. No. But so I'm there by day, and I do something really easy. And that was my goal, to do something kind of brainless, where I would not have anybody's laptop to continue working after hours. I don't have to go to meetings. When my time is up, it's up, and I can refocus on what I'm doing. And be honest, sometimes I'm focused on it when I am at State Farm, but that's funny. But I'm always like working on something. So to answer the question overall, to go back to that, it isn't a factor of me utilizing this income full time. Will that be the goal? Absolutely. But now it's just not smart. Like one of the mistakes that I've seen a lot of founders make is not really, it's kind of like a falsehood in taking a leap. Like, you hear people say, like, if I'm going to step out on faith and I'm going to do this and I'm going to just take the leap and just jump and it's all going to work out. That's not true. Not true. Entrepreneurship is hard. And if you don't have support, meaning monetarily, or, something that has to do with finances, or a ton of savings, because you're going to make mistakes. You're going to have to pivot. You know, you don't want to fail, but sometimes failing is a part of succeeding. Then, you know, you have to keep some sense of stability, because entrepreneurship is very unstable. So, you know, I'm proud to say that, like, you know, I work my butt off, and I work my butt off for my business. The goal is obviously to make it full time, and, you know, we'll continue to see how it goes. So as far as how much of my income does it bring in, it depends on what I'm doing and what month it is. So around the holidays, oh my gosh, like I was rich. I was so rich around the holidays. But now you have to account for after the holidays. You also have to account for, you know, this uncertainty with COVID. And now you have to account for, okay, the things that I was doing to make that money during the holidays, meaning being out, kind of scared, but still being out doing all different kinds of festivals and just making sure that my face was in every place. And, you know, I'm networking, I'm doing all of it. That stopped, you know? So how do you continue to do that with a community that you only see outdoors? So now, you know, it's picking up here in Georgia. You know, it's crazy. So they released restrictions a long time ago. So things have been open here for a while, but I haven't felt comfortable being out and about. Now, things are a little bit different because, you know, however you feel about the vaccine is out there, people are taking it. You know, things feel a little bit better where people are comfortable coming out, being safe, and spending money.
Okay. So well, that sounds good. So one of the few last people that I had introduced, she's going to join now, and she had some questions for you because she has a store. She has an actual storefront in a mall, and
Okay.
she sells women's clothes. And I don't know if I showed you the link. I might have. I can't remember. But she had a couple of questions that she wanted to ask you. I had invited two people, but one of them is on England time, so she probably is not showing up. She might be probably asleep. So this is Penny right here. And
Hi.
all right. Okay, go ahead, Penny.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How are you? It's very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. I'm doing good. So I just have a couple. I want to go ahead and congratulate you for your successful candle business and your home decor as well. Definitely, I need your link so I can shop because I love supporting small businesses, Black ones at that. So I just have a couple of questions. Can you hear me real good?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I was wondering, do you do wholesale candles, or are you open to doing like private label where you would send out blank candles and then I get my labels made from online labels or sticker mule?
Yes. So we were talking about that earlier. So he was asking, do I get the candles from somewhere and just put my label on them? And I was explaining that I literally hand make them myself. And so for me, what I do is wholesale, definitely. And I also do white labeling in that way. So what I've done in the past is I call them scent note meetings is what I call them, when, you know, we kind of talk through like, what is your candle personality? And meaning like, what type of scents do you like? Or if you're buying for your audience, like what type of scents do you think that they like? So I help go through that process, and then we figure out which candles will be best. And I also ask as a part of that process, do you want to create your own labels, or do you want me to create your labels? So I can do the entire package for you. I've created custom labels for customers before who wanted certain things. So maybe, I don't know, like they liked my labels or something, but they're just like, oh, you know, can it just be like red? Like, yeah, I mean, we can do that. Whatever floats your boat. So yes, I do both.
Yay! Okay. So, what if a person like me or somebody that is watching the live stream, if they want to go ahead and add candles to their business, or they want to start a candle business and want you to be their supplier, how do they need to get in connection with you? Do they email you, send an inquiry? How can they get in contact with you?
Yes, so I definitely would prefer email so that we can schedule a time to have a sit note meeting, and we would just talk through for about a half an hour about everything. Like, what is your goal? What is it that you want to convey, like with this product, like if you're adding it to your store, adding it to something that you're doing. So we'll talk about all of that, and then we would come up with, what is your budget? And then we would talk through what type of candles, because for me, I have like, these and these are 7.5 ounces, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's like these 7.5 ounces. But then this is 8 ounces, and then this is 10 ounces. Okay. So, that's why we would talk about like, okay, well, what is your goal? What are you trying to do? Like, what size would be best for you? What scent would be best for you? And just kind of go from there.
Okay, yay!
Yeah.
Are the candles glass? Do they come with a lid, or how are they?
They are glass, so all the containers are glass. Even the matte ones, like this, is glass. So these are glass.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And they do come with dust covers, and I allow them to cure for about 1 week before they're sent out. So candle curing for me has been really successful as a part of my business, because when customers get them, they are extremely fragrant. If you don't know anything, well, not you specifically, but if anyone watching doesn't know anything about candles, if someone is making them, you don't want to get a candle that's made and then you burn it like the next 24 hours. You want to give it curing time, which allows everything to kind of settle.
Okay, I didn't know that. So
yeah.
I tried to test out a candle company, and when I went to burn that soy candle, it was not as strong as I liked. So I found another girl on Etsy, and I was going to try her out as well. It is a blessing that you literally fell right here in my lap.
Yes. So a part of something else that I didn't talk about is I try to introduce candle education into my business. Like, I feel like that's a way for me to stand out from other candle makers, because there's a lot, and not afraid of competition. But the one thing that I wish that I would have known before I started making candles was all of these little intricate pieces that I had no idea about. So earlier I was sharing how important it is to make sure that as a candle maker, you have a formula where, like you said, you had a candle that didn't smell so great, didn't smell so strong. Right. Maybe that person didn't use the best quality wax. Maybe they didn't use the best quality fragrance oil. So everybody gets their products from different places, and it really depends upon how they literally make them. That determines your experience, from that specific candle. So, I always ask now that I'm in the business, like, what type of wax is this? What type of wicks do you use? What percentage of fragrance oil do you have in your candle? Because those are all things that make a difference when you're burning it.
Okay, I did not know that.
I have a newsletter that I send out every month. Month. Yes, each month in my newsletter, I talk about different pieces of candle education. So last month I talked about wicks. Like, what's the big deal about wicks? Why do people always say, trim your wick to a 1/4 inch? Like, why is that important? So I talked about that. And this month I'm talking about wax and how that works with the wicks.
Can you make fragrance? Can you make your own fragrances?
Can you? You probably can, but I wouldn't.
You don't?
No, I do not. I buy my fragrance oils from a specific supplier only. I only use one because they have the best. And the reason why is because I've learned how to test theirs. Some people have used like essential oils, like you use for aromatherapy. That's not the proper oil to use for a candle. You can't use just anything, because when you're dealing with fire, you don't want to have something literally
flammable.
You don't want anything to explode.
How frequently do you get a new fragrance?
So for me, because I'm moving into the other parts of the home decor, I only introduce new fragrances seasonally.
Okay.
I don't want to, this is something I'm big about. I didn't want to continue to have candle coming out. Even though there's a ton of different ones that I could do, but I choose to not do that because I don't want everyone to know me as the candle business. It is a home decor line, and it's time to kind of, run with the wind and introduce other things and just have seasonal candles come out, which is why I only have, this one, the cactus bomb for spring. Yeah. And when it goes away, there'll be one for summer, and then I'll just kind of continue like that.
So my boutique signature scent is pink sugar. Do you have pink sugar fragrance?
I don't have pink sugar fragrance, but that is something that we can talk about because pink sugar it sounds sweet, right? It sounds like it's kind of maybe like a little fruity or something. But we would talk about like what does that smell like? What is it similar to, so that I know like what you're looking for, and then I can always get different types of oils and then have you smell them. So I have a customer who's in California, and she wanted to have custom candles done for her bridesmaids. And, she's not here, so I can't like give it to her to smell so she can see. But what I did is I sent her some oils that I had, and she picked one. And that's what we used for her order. So that's something similar that I would do since you're out of state. Yeah. So you would have a virtual scent note meeting with real oils involved. Yeah.
Well, pink sugar, it smells almost fruity. It's just a very feminine, soft smell, and that is my boutique signature smell.
I have one that probably is similar. It's called Bombshell, and it was something that I used for Valentine's Day, and it was I had 2 candles, one for men, one for women, for Valentine's Day, but it was sold as a set, and that one sounds like it might be similar to pink sugar, but again, for me, it's important that, you would approve whatever it is that you like. So I would make sure that you have the actual, sample and said, this is it, or no, this isn't it. And, send you multiple so that you can make a decision.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. I work with everyone.
Let me see if anybody in the comments have any questions. I don't think they do.
No, right now there's not a whole lot of people in the comments, and that crowd that you had before, they're busy right now. They're discussing Black Lives Matter and those houses that they bought. So they're elsewhere right now. They're a little busy.
Oh, wow.
A deeper discussion right now.
Yeah. No, we had a big crowd. Believe me, you wouldn't like some of them. You wouldn't like them.
Okay. I trust your judgment. Yeah,
you wouldn't like those guys. But yeah, that's that.
No, they're very rude.
Yeah.
They dragged me.
Oh, no.
But Penny handled it well. She handled it really well.
Yeah, people will people. That's what I like to say sometimes. People will people. But your boutique, like, can you tell me a little bit more about it?
I might be able to show it myself, but she's in a car on a phone.
Okay.
So I could show you a website. The name of your website is what again?
It's
the Sophisticated.
Let's Shop Sophisticated. So it's LETS shopsophisticated.com.
All right, let's shop sophisticated.
Let's shop sophisticated.com. I am here to cater to every woman's inner feminine by keeping them looking classy and market them stuff at high value. Everything that I sell is along the line of modest. No, I don't sell anything provocative. Basically,
when she says modest, basically she means that breasts aren't popping out.
Right.
I believe that your breasts and butt do not have to show to be beautiful. So I sell like dresses, skirts, and with me growing up Pentecostal, that's just that's what I'm comfortable with.
Yeah. I like the way your site looks. Like the aesthetics are great. I like that a lot. Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations to you also. It's not easy.
No, it's not. It's not like you when you said entrepreneurship is up and down. You was not lying. I completely agree with you because you don't know. You know, I might make $2,000 in 2 weeks, and then for the third week of the month, I make absolutely nothing. You know.
Right. Yes. 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 But that's a story that we all have, though, and I think that we all cannot live what I call the Instagram life, which is where everything is always perfect and you're always making money and you're always happy and you're never stressed and you're always on vacation. You're always taking like great pictures. Like, no, like my head is down, buried in my business. And I'm sitting in front of this laptop at 11:30 at night instead of sleeping. And I'm looking at, you know, my first quarter goals and, you know, did I meet them and what can I do differently for the second quarter? So, you know, it's a real thing. And, you know, I question anybody who says that it is easy and that things are always great for them. Unless you have like some huge, you know, contract or some sort of brand partnership. And I've met those entrepreneurs too. But even before they got there, they were grinding and it was tough. And, you know, we'll have our moment, but, you know, it's just more work that we have to do. And I'm okay with that because I'd rather do it for myself than do it for anybody else.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Entrepreneurship is a hard road. I mean, when I done stood outside of stores and sold my products, you know, on the side of the road, empty parking lot, sold my products, post every hour on the hour. I was tagging people just to make a sale. But
absolutely, yeah.
Thank God I got to the point where I don't even like if I don't even run an ad, I can still get a sale. You know, I'm finally getting to that point. I'm finally getting people to organically like my business page, not without me having to promote my business page.
Yes.
So
yes. And you know, it's trial and error because, you know, one thing I learned from being in the startup space, by going to a lot of conferences and meeting with a lot of people who are behind the scenes at Facebook and Instagram and all of that, they'll tell you like, it is not designed to let you win. It's designed for them to win. You know, it's designed for them to get money from us to, you know, we pay for boosting, we pay for, you know, Instagram ads, we pay for like all of these things, but that's what it's designed for. It's not for us, you know, so the people who master the algorithms and master the art of marketing, I guarantee you they have other things in play, meaning like teams who specialize or team members rather who specialize in, you know, branding, marketing. They have those people who are working on that for them, and it looks like it could come from social media, but it doesn't directly come from social media. So I have found successes with paying for ads, but honestly for me, because I kind of know pieces of it, like my audience has been organic, my customer base is organic, and my sales are organic. I would love to get to the point where, you know, it would be easier if I could just place the ad out there and it just like go somewhere. But that's just not the way that it works, you know? So I give myself a lot of grace with that. And I try not to, you know, look at, you know, somebody else's thing and feel like I'm behind because
it's definitely a mental thing.
It is. And everybody's journey is different. Everyone's journey is different. I'm lucky and so fortunate that I have other Black women entrepreneurs around me who are all at different levels of business. I have friends who are at like 6-7 figure with their businesses and others who are, you know, maybe 5 or whatever the case may be. But having that honest circle of people around you who are telling you like, look, like this is what it is now, but let me tell you where I was last year. Let me tell you what helped me kind of overcome that hump. So for me, like I like to be extremely transparent, you know, when I talk about anything really, but definitely about like the journey.
All right.
Now, you know what? When Penny was on last time, and we had a bunch of dudes on last time, and they were talking about entrepreneurship, I brought up the point that I didn't think, or actually, let me phrase it as a question. Why do you think there aren't more black males in entrepreneurship of this like level?
So in my world, there are. There definitely are. The problem is that funding for Black founders is real shifty. Shifty. Once you start getting into funding, and I'm talking about traditional means of funding, meaning capital, meaning investors, that's where it gets shifty. There are, maybe because Atlanta is a chocolate city, there is a huge, tech startup scene of nothing but Black founders, men, mostly men, honestly. The women are, kind of, out there, like just kind of not in great quantity, but full of men. I have always, and there are other cities like that too. Like I know that there are emerging, tech scenes in Birmingham, in Baltimore, in, Compton even. I've met these people. I've seen what they're trying to do. Like I know these groups who are doing it. So I think you don't see them because one, they're cliques, like within like these communities where you feel most safe with the people who you feel comfortable around. So you're not going to see a lot of Black founders in Silicon Valley. Not happening. You're not going to see a ton of Black founders in New York, for example, because the way that the geography is, it's not set up where you would actually have everybody in one place. In a place like Atlanta, it's a centralized location that everybody knows to come there, for that. Like if you want to do this, you need to go speak to this person. You need to come in this neighborhood. You need to come to this community. You need to come to this group. So that's why I think you don't see them. But trust me, they are out there. They're out there working hard. They're trying to get capital. They're doing these incubators and accelerators so that they can get, money in a different way. We have to be extremely creative as people of color, specifically Black people, with how we get money for our businesses. I don't think that I would ever have an investor. It's not something that has interested me. I prefer to bootstrap myself because I think that that's a better way to operate. But that's just me. I have friends who have, completed accelerators, gotten $50,000 from finishing an accelerator, use it to hire employees, or, they've done pitch competitions, won $20,000, $25,000, use it to invest back in their businesses. Things like that, I think are okay. But when it comes to seeking traditional means of investment, people do not believe in our products because they don't know us. And if they don't know us and don't know our experiences, then they can't relate to how they're going to get their money back that they give to you as an investor. And that's the disconnect. So for me, it's always like, why do we keep trying to make people understand? Why? Like we need to just kind of like figure it out in another way. So that was my long-winded answer, but there are plenty, I see them all the time, plenty of Black founders out there, more men than women. We just don't see them on the main stage.
That's horrible. That's sad. And I have filled out a lot of essays for grants. I done sent a lot of videos in talking about my brand, and I've never got a grant for my business.
Yeah. There's lots of depending on how developed the city's economic development offices are, I'll say, that might be a better resource. So here in Atlanta, there's something called Invest Atlanta that pretty much is like the place you want to go to. Like if you're moving here, you want to learn about like specific grant opportunities that might appeal to you. A lot of places have small business administration offices. That could be a good place to start. Every city is different, and you just have to find the people in the community. The community is everything. You cannot be an entrepreneur by yourself. Now, I said before, I learned that
you need a team. You need people behind you.
Yeah, you can't do this thing by yourself. Like you can start off by yourself, but you're going to have to eventually pay people to help you do something. You have to spend money to make money, and you have to spend money to keep your sanity, because if you don't, then you'll there's no such thing as a one woman or one man, success alone. No way possible. It's too much work, and you don't know everything. So, you can't be the marketer, you can't be the accountant, you can't be the creator, you can't be all of those things and, maintain that type of lifestyle. It's impossible. You die.
You know what? I found this one resource place which is located in Detroit, Michigan, for Black businesses. But they don't even have enough funding. Then it is another office in Ann Arbor where my boutique is located. They have I think it's called Spark or Shark or something. Mm-hmm. But because my business doesn't fit what they want to give a grant to, there's no resources there. And Georgia is a good place for, thriving African Americans, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. It's almost like
Detroit is.
Just...
I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, what you was gonna say about Detroit?
Detroit is one of those cities that I'm talking about, though, and I think that finding the community there is important, because Chase had an initiative about maybe 3 or 4 years ago to spend. I think it was 100. They called it like a $100 million something campaign, and it was specifically for Black founders only. Chase is one of those banks that has given a lot of money to these, what are they calling them? Underdeveloped communities of color for entrepreneurs. And they put their money where their mouth is. And I know people in Detroit. I'll have to look through my Rolodex. But I'd be more than happy to do an intro or something once I find the information, because there's some good people up there who can loop you into the community so that you're able to figure out who you need to talk to. And that's the thing. You gotta you gotta know how to move and shake within the community, because one, you gotta find it. And I think that's the hardest part. Once you find it and you start going to, events or hopping on to these, I don't like Clubhouse, but you log on to a lot of these panels and things, reach out to those people and hey, this is me. This is what I'm doing. How can I stay in touch with you? The reason that I know that is because when I worked in the startup space, that literally was my job, was to go to conferences, go to events, meet the people in the room, meet the gatekeepers, get their phone numbers, get their email addresses, have them come, speak to the founders that I'm working with and, help us, right? So give us the tools, give us the resources, tell us where the money is, all of that. And so once you start to kind of dip and dive in that world, it'll become a lot easier for you, because people want to help, but they got to know how to help you. So when you do it, you got to know what you're asking for right away. You can't be well, I don't know what I need, or what do you think I need? You got to come in with a game plan and be look, this is what I need, this is what I want, this is what I got, how can you help me? And people have the resources to do it. They want
I need to get successful with these people. I need to get, if anybody on here know anybody in Detroit, Dave, I'm in Ann Arbor. I'm 45 minutes away from you. Can you come and help me get resourced and linked up with these people?
Mm-hmm. Well, once again, the reason why you're here is because this way you can network, and I'm posting your links and making it so people can email you directly, or they can support your business by buying something directly from you or whatever.
I'm gonna get in and buy a candle.
Well, no, I'll give you Essence's links, and you can go to her site. You can right.
Okay. Oh. Yes, and I'll be glad to look at yours as well. So yeah. But that's my spiel about entrepreneurship. I feel again, from my heart always tells me to let people know it's definitely hard, but there are resources that are out there. The community piece of your business and the relationships inside of the community is just as important as the products that you're creating. like just as important, or the services you're offering, whatever it is.
Okay. All right. So
do you
ahead.
have a Facebook page so I can send you a friend request?
Yeah, my Facebook, to be honest, I have a Facebook business page, yes, so you can definitely find it. It's all, for me, everything is, well, actually, Instagram is Get Sensual, so Get, and I spell sensual SCENTUAL.
Type your Instagram into the comments, and I'll display it.
Okay.
Please, and I will screenshot it, and I will be following you on Instagram, and I will be, reaching out to you most definitely.
Okay, send that now. IG. I just put it in there.
I got it. Right. I got it. I'm about to screenshot it now so I can have her information.
Okay.
We will definitely be in touch. We will definitely be
awesome. I look forward.
I think the spam filter must have blocked it out.
Really?
Because I don't see it. You saw it?
Under private chat. John,
yeah,
I screenshot it. I can send it.
Oh, it's in the private chat. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't see the box to put it in the other. So yeah, I'm trying to.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, she's got the link, but I was talking about the Instagram.
I got an Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Right here where it says Get Sensual.
Okay. I see.
I just put the handle. Should I put the whole thing? Sorry.
Yeah. Which one do you prefer people to know? The Instagram?
Instagram is a lot better.
All right, that's fine. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I will send some of my Facebook friends her way. I will invite them to like her business page.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Sure.
Yes. I don't know. I know they're owned by the same people, but Instagram is like a lot more purposeful, it seems. Like, like the visual, the way that it's just designed is so much better for me for business than Facebook. No hate on Facebook, but it's a little bit better for me.
I just changed the way my layout was for Instagram, because Instagram I was doing every 3 pictures was the same. So it had like a uniform look to it. And I literally just changed it because that was just at some point it was literally the same picture being posted.
Yeah. And some people will tell you that, depending upon your brand and your brand awareness, that doesn't even matter. You know what I mean? So it just, the whole social media thing, I'm trying to get too caught up in that.
Right. Now I let my sophisticated ladies be my, when they tag my page, I go and put them on my Instagram. I'm letting them be my models now.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. This is great.
Okay, yeah. So we passed the hour. I think that went pretty well, right?
Yeah, I think so. So excited. Thank you so much. Like, I feel so joyful.
What's up for the rest of your day?
For me, work. Actually, I'm going to, so this is a thing that I'll share personally. I love Ben & Jerry's ice cream, and a supermarket here, Publix, they're like Southern or whatever. They have a buy one, get one free, and they're never buy one, get one free.
Who has buy one, get one free? Because I like sales.
I don't think that they're Publix in Detroit. I think they only start like in like Georgia and like Florida or something crazy like that. But I'm going to run and get the ice cream, and as soon as I come back, I'll be back on this laptop until about 11. Then I'll allow myself to probably try to relax my brain a bit. But that's it for me.
Okay.
Oh, glad I met you, Miss Ashley.
I met you too. So sweet. I look forward to speaking with you.
All right. Most definitely, we will be in touch. If not tonight, because we're still traveling. So once we get to our destination, I will definitely reach out to you. If it's late, I won't tonight, but definitely tomorrow. You'll be getting an Instagram message from me.
My phone is never off. Notifications come all day, all night. So
That's how it is. That's how it is.
It is. Yes. Yes. But thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful for the experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming.
Yes, of course. Anytime.
Okay. So yeah, Penny, you guys get where you're going safely.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll talk to you later.
We will. We're like 2 hours away.
2 hours away. All right. Y'all be careful.
Okay.
All right. Bye, you all.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. And once again, thanks, Essence, for coming in, and hopefully you are able to, hopefully some other people, because I'm going to leave this video up. So hopefully between you, Penny, and anybody else who sees it, hopefully you're able to get some networking going, and hopefully things go from there, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, we will see, and I appreciate it once again. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And thanks for everyone who's watching.
Okay, and everybody, thanks a lot for the guys in the chat. Thanks, everybody, for participating, and all the future people who are going to participate while the video's up. Okay, so I am logging you off now.
Okay, bye.